Thanks again for tuning in to our Enlightened Conversations, where this season we are deep diving into some tough topics with our guests. I will also be sharing some enlightened conversations with my favourite intergalactic being, Ralph, from my book, Conversations with Ralph, as well as some new, never been heard of conversations with them. You hear it all here, real, raw and rare, and all shared in an enlightened way. Hi everyone, it's Michelle Lightworker here and welcome to Enlightened Conversations. We've got a really cool episode, all things AI. Welcome Sarah Jayde.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Oh, I am absolutely thrilled to have you. It's really lovely to have someone from the spiritual community come in and be excited about AI, because I know there's a lot that we can fear about a lot of things. I've got a very philosophical approach about that. I can't wait to unwrap that with you. But it's awesome, just applauding you, the work that you're doing in the AI space, and can't wait to talk to you about it today.
Cool.
Yeah, cool. And so for those of you who don't know the wonderful Sarah Jayde, she's a trailblazer in the world of spiritual entrepreneurship with over a decade of experience in the industry. She's a master at spotlighting spiritual leaders and positioning them as renowned authorities. Her expertise is unparalleled, and she has built a thriving business empire that has propelled the success of solo entrepreneurs to new heights. Sarah is skilled in tapping into social media networks, launching an online directory, curating spirituality shows, and producing Rebirth magazine. Her unwavering dedication to her craft is rooted in her belief that spirituality is the cornerstone of a fulfilling life, and she is committed to helping others unlock their full potential and achieve their dreams. Through her work, Sarah has touched the lives of countless individuals, and many of them have gone on to achieve remarkable success. She is a force to be reckoned with in spiritual entrepreneurship, and you've just been nominated for an award, I understand.
I have. It's so exciting.
It's exciting, isn't it?
Australian Ladies in Business Initiative.
Yeehaw.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I'm so inspired to hear that. And I noticed that you also mentioned here that your best work is ahead of you. Is ahead of you. So it's really exciting to hear that you're not only are you supporting others to do that, but you've got an exciting future ahead of yourself. I love that you've got the combination of service and also self-recognition of what you've achieved yourself. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you. I love that bio. AI helped me write that.
I know. Is it cool? Thank you, AI.
And I'm like a trailblazer. Oh, that's pretty cool. And then I loved how it said, because obviously I prompted it and I gave it information, and I just love how it just comes up with, it's like future visioning, you know? I'm like, that is so me. That is like, I do believe my best work is yet to come. It's starting to unfold now with all this AI. It's just amazing. I got goosebumps actually saying that.
You've just done so much in the space of bringing people together, and using that cornerstone of spirituality for the community's highest good. And I really love that, and I really acknowledge that, because in this industry it can be quite narcissistic when you start to do well, and you kind of see some people kind of almost get into this very self-absorbed style of presenting themselves. And I think it's really awesome to see you sharing all your knowledge excitedly with everybody, to help them to be able to easily write their bios, to be able to tap into AI in a way that can support their uniqueness. I'm excited that you're doing that.
Yeah. Well, it's all about being of service. You know, it's like there's no point being narcissistic, because it's going to bite you on the ass eventually anyway, you know?
Yeah.
It's all about helping others. And that's that's the first thing I actually learned with this whole, when I first started my spiritual journey, is give to others. The more that you can help others, the more that it helps you. So I really based everything on that. Yeah.
I also feel like it's more heart-centered. Instead of thinking, oh, what can I get from this? What can I get from this? It's more like, no. Let spirit take care of that. Let's just focus on the giving aspect. As long as I'm taking care of me and making sure my needs are met and I'm not burnt out and all those good, kind things to myself. You know, if it's coming from that pure space, it's very rewarding, not only I guess in terms of our community building, but also our support network building. Like the people that we surround ourselves with are really awesome people. So we get the benefit of it too.
Exactly. Yeah, so, and I've known you for so many years, and it's good
Yep.
to still stay connected. Like, I think,
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
you were already doing your spiritual work when I started Spiritual Events Directory, like 11 years ago, over 11 years ago now. Like,
Yep. Yep. I remember,
gosh,
and I remember
yeah.
you buying it and going, oh, what have I done? And how am
I
I going to
know.
do this? And I love it. I
I
love
know.
it. Look
I
at you
had
now.
no business. Oh my gosh. Never run a business in my life. My dad did. Like, so obviously it's in my blood. My dad ran businesses, but I never like dreamt of running a business. I never even like was in any leadership roles at work. You know, like I'd just go to work, do my job and go. I never had any aspirations to want to be a team leader or even climb the ladder in any way, you know. So it's
Yep.
kind of interesting that, you know,
Here you are.
yeah, so here I am, yeah.
Winning awards
A
for it.
leader
I
as
love it.
such. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so excited for you. And like, tell me a bit more about. So just for the listeners, just so that they understand what the Spiritual Events Directory is. So
Mm-hmm.
Sarah created, and well, Sarah took on the reins and was able to continue to build a community of so many thousands of people who work in the spiritual industry, and that has been incredible in and of itself. Just to keep that energy together and to build that.
Mm-hmm.
And then also you've been I remember a few years back when you started to get into wanting to do a little bit more like uh, talking on TV shows and podcasts and things like that. And you've been creating yours more and talking about things that you're really passionate about, like the AI world, and offering some training with that as well and mentoring with that.
Mm-hmm.
And you've also got, which I want to really expand on today. And you've also got the Rebirth magazine. So you've been able to bring people together that are in the community to be able to share all the wisdom that they have through your magazine as well, which I love because we shared that in common. We both had
Yeah.
passions for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot that you're doing. So
I'm not actually doing the magazine anymore. You
okay.
you obviously didn't know that. Yeah, I stopped that at the start of the year. Yeah,
Okay. So that's
too
cool.
much. Yeah.
I know. Tell me about it. I stopped mine about 3 years ago too, because
Yeah.
it was like I'd done about just trying to work it out, three years at that time. And it was really awesome and I loved it.
Mm,
And it was evolving into more a magazine that had media links to it. To watch something. And I went,
yeah.
okay, I think Spirit's kind of nudging me along to do more in the TV podcast space rather than
Yeah.
just the written space, which I love. I really love the written space. But yeah,
Yeah.
things do evolve, don't they? You just kind
They
of
do.
get the nudge.
Everyone's online, you know. So yeah, I just found that, you know, because I had so many different offerings for people, that the thing that people were really attracted to were the online shows.
Yeah.
So they have an opportunity to have an hour time slot on Spiritual Events Directory's Facebook page every week. And that's where the big community is. And so they were loving that and they're getting clients out of that. Yeah. So, you know, the magazine, whenever I mentioned it, they'd be like, oh, and so it just, yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a
Yeah.
lot of work for this little projector. And since I've realized what my human design is, being a projector, that I need to work to that, which is more automation, more.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, not deadlines. The magazine
No.
was the deadline and it was, yeah,
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 yeah, I can so relate to that.
yeah.
It's so when you say projector with human design, what are you specifically referring to in that? Because it is fairly new, just so that people understand the language you're using. Because
Yeah,
obviously projection can be seen in a negative term with, when you're projecting stuff and not
true,
owning stuff. But in
true,
human
true.
design, it's completely different, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. Well, I don't know a lot about human design, so it'll be really hard for me to go into it. But you've got the four, and I don't even know what they're called. Do you know? Like,
No.
I'm going to say signs, but it's not signs. It's So you've got the projector, you've got the reflector, you've got the manifesting generator, you've got the generator. So we all fit into one of those categories,
Hmm.
and the projectors make up, I think, about 10 or 12% of the world, like society. And we're amps, like we're very we pick up people's energies. Our centers are really open. So it's not about like just projecting all our crap onto people. although
you know,
could do that.
We could do that. We all do that.
Exactly. I'm like a projector. Okay, that fits. But I see it in myself. Like I can see in people what they necessarily can't see. And I don't know if you're like, are you a projector? You don't.
I'm not sure.
You don't know. Okay.
I've never done the thing, but I'm curious. I might be. We've done similar things, but
I can link you, and you can put this too on the podcast. But I've Katie, who used to have a show on spiritual events, you can actually go in there for free and find out what design you are, what human design. So yeah, I can link if anyone's interested.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's about so when you're like, I can see this, and you kind of give people information that they're not ready to receive, and so they really back off from you. And so with projectors, it's all about being invited, right? So once you realize that you need that invitation, so if somebody wants to work with you, or you put an offering out and they want more information, that's your invitation to give them more information, or do you see what I mean? Rather than just
absolutely
And I find I do that, and
that was my 15-year-old self. That was my 15-year-old self before I went into codependency recovery, which I realized that it's none of my business how people think, what people think, feel, and do and don't do, as in their boundary system. But my innate thing was to go, this is the truth, here it is, boom.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not, it's just like being able to see that things that they can't see. Like if you just did this or moved in that direction, things would be so much better, you know what I mean? But you can't just say that to people, because people are ready to so that's a little bit of the projector. But if anyone wants any more information, I'll link it anyway. I'm not a specialist at all in that field. So
thanks for sharing that, Sarah. Now that's awesome. That's and it is trending at the moment, so people might want to jump onto the Spiritual Events Directory and check Katie out. So tell me a bit more about what is evolving for you with this in this AI space. I'm really like, I know a little snippet and I've seen little bits, but it'd be great to hear it in your own words. Like, where's it coming? Where's it heading? What you doing?
So I am heading in the direction of creating oracle decks and tarot card decks for people, and I'm absolutely loving that. So I use AI to do that, as in the images. Beautiful. AI images. So I use Midjourney, and it's just amazing what's coming out. So for those of you who don't know anything about AI generated artwork, how you do it is you use prompting. So it's kind of like your imagination. So what you see, you can type that out, and then AI can create that. So it's, instead of, I guess, seeing it and then painting it or drawing it, you're imagining it, and then you're using text prompts for AI to generate it. Gotcha. It's really cool. Yeah,
that's cool, because we still have to have a clear vision of what we want, and that's where I look at with how we talk about like artificial intelligence, right? I kind of, like, I was having a chat to my hubby this morning, and he said, let's just scrap the artificial bit. It's just intelligence. Like it's not artificial. Like, we're feeding it information, and it's not artificial. It's actually based on what we feed it. So there's this symbiotic, why can't we just see it as a symbiotic relationship with a resource that Spirit's provided for us? And I think people, like, when it comes to your oracle decks and things like that, what you actually just said to me fits that perfectly. Because you just said, like, we need to be able to say, hey, this is what I'm seeing. This is what I'd like it to look like. So, help me out. Like, what does that, throw some bits together for me? Like, what is...
And it's no different. And this is my not partner, but my little girl's dad, Greg. Like, we're, as you would see, amazing co-parents and friends and everything. And he said pretty much something very similar to your hubby today as well. He said it's intelligence. So it's your intelligence guiding the artificial intelligence. So it's the same thing. It's not artificial. And I saw this thing and I thought, this makes sense too. It's human intelligence plus artificial intelligence equals superhuman intelligence. And I'm like, it's so true, because honestly, I feel like I've never been more creative and more intelligent and more confident in all the years that I have, that you've known me, that I've been doing my spiritual work, than what I am now.
That's amazing.
Because you can just learn so much. It's not, well, for me personally, it's definitely not dumbing me down, or the things that they think, because
God, no.
Because you just learn so much. You just put stuff in, you read, and then you can go and do some research and make sure that, that it's all good. But yeah, it's just like, it's really cool.
Fabulous.
I love it.
That's fabulous. And I wanted to share too with you something else that we said. We were talking about how a lot of people are in fear of AI because of what they think AI will do if it gets too smart. And they're also scared how people will use AI. So if there's some dark intentions, they can do things, right? Okay, so like, yeah, let's acknowledge that, and that, hey, this is what people, this is what they would do, whether or not we choose to educate ourselves on how to use AI. So therefore, what do we want to do? Do we want to just go, well, it's a bad thing because people can do bad things with it? Like, it's a bit like, oh, well, a car's bad because it can smash into people. Yeah, exactly. So do we want to lack intelligence, and they get more intelligent because they're embracing the technology, whereas we've got this heart-centered, light-centered way of being. And if we educate ourselves and are able to use the intelligence for a greater capacity for enlightenment, then we're then keeping up with the darkness, if you like.
Exactly. Well said. That's exactly right. Exactly right. And it's just a mindset shift at the end of the day. It's just that, So anybody, and I see that people are shifting as well. Some people are really against it, are like, oh no. Because honestly, if you're a business owner and you're not keeping up with it, you probably will get left behind, like, in all honesty, because you'll just get
like before and after internet, before and after computers, before and after these major milestones in life that we've had to face. And people resist that change back then, and they're doing the same thing now. But we still continue, don't we, Sarah? It's just like,
exactly. In 5 years, 10 years time, you're going to go, oh, I wish I kind of learnt AI back then, because here it is. There's no robots roaming the streets shooting us, or whatever it is that people think is going to happen, or whatever. But it's like, just embrace it, and it's so much fun. It is so much fun,
Sounds like it is too. And just for those people, I just want to mention this process that Sarah sort of suggested when I asked her if she wouldn't mind coming on the show to speak about the AI stuff. And I said, oh, can you send me through a bio? And Sarah said, oh yeah, do you want to watch this short little thing on how you can create a bio? Just sending it to me out of interest. And I said, yeah, absolutely. And I had a look at it. It was really interesting because the AI was actually, was really fascinating, Sarah, because it not only did it ask me questions about, so it could form the bio. It was sort of like an interview, It was great. But so it was kind of more natural in that respect, because you're able to kind of respond how your heart would respond in an interview situation, rather than let me write something, amazing. It was not that kind of thing.
Exactly.
And then the other thing I loved about it was how it asked you, could you please send me through an example of how you would write an email, or, and then it could see how you actually do, what's important to you. Are you an open person, closed person, warm person, not so warm person, professional, formal or not formal? Like, it was really great. And that showed me so much how it was actually tuning in, if you like, to my nuances and me. And so I just found it great. I loved it.
Yeah, everyone loves it. And so now, well, even though you liked AI, or you were open to AI before, but I think once people see that and they go, oh wow, It's not just me going, please write me an email on XYZ, and then it just writes you an email on XYZ. Thank you very much. Copy and paste. We'll put that there. I think that's what a lot of people think that it is, and they, you know, but once you really learn how to use and harness AI, it's not that. It becomes a copywriter for you. It becomes a ghostwriter. It becomes an artist. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you know how to prompt it to do that, so it gets the information out of you. So we call it act like. You get it to act like a copywriter or act like a artist, or it's really cool.
and it evolves. So I like that it evolves, because how we're programming it will evolve, because we're becoming more educated on how we can better program it. And it's interesting because we always talk about in our spiritual growth about our programming, about changing our programming.
Exactly.
I love this. Somebody posted on Facebook today that they had their first argument with AI. They are. Did you see that? They asked for 200 negative comments from AI, and AI said something along the lines of, "Thank you so much for asking this. However, it's been proven that if you speak in negative thoughts to yourself, that it encourages negativity, and mental health isn't working so well, and he's 20, and it gave her 20." And I'm thinking, good, like AI, if it's actually intelligent, it won't take us down a negative path. It doesn't.
It's so like, it's got manners, you know what I mean? Like, it actually could probably help some of the children today. Like, use AI and read. It's like, it's really you're right. I'd never thought about that, because I'm always like, please and thank you to AI, but it just naturally does that.
And so with your tarot decks, you've been getting super creative with it and enjoying that process for yourself. It's been like really fun.
Yes, so amazing. And people are loving it. So I've just so I started off calling it Oracle card art. So I was literally making art for Oracle cards. So like, I might do a theme. I usually go 44 cards, and people just purchasing that, and then they put their words of wisdom on there. And so that was great. And then I was like giving them templates, and I was just giving them all this extra stuff to go with their cards, because they've got this artwork, and then, oh, well, what do I do now? So I'd give them templates for this and that. And so from that it evolved, and I'm like, I should create a course. So I created an AI powered Oracle card or Oracle deck creators course. So that's my new thing, which is really exciting. And it's got everything in there. So it's got, your templates to your different sizes of cards, so you can use those templates. It's got templates as in the design, so you can use that as well and pop your own artwork in there. I've got over 1,000 images in there, 1,111 images, all different images that you can use commercially free. And you just have to put the words on there, obviously, and turn them into a deck. And then you can, put your name on it, sell it, do everything. And then there's templates in there for marketing. So, you can put up on Facebook that you've got this new deck and that you're taking pre-orders and all of that sort of stuff. And then I teach you how to do reels, because that's what I do when reels are really great to have beautiful artwork in your reels. And then I've got a module on Midjourney. So if you don't want to use the images that I provide, you can create your own images. So you can go through and I step you through. So they're really like bite-sized videos, step by step, like I'm screen recording, so you just follow through. Follow the steps. So
it's visual. So I love it when it's like that, because it's so easy.
So easy.
Yeah.
And you don't see my head there either. I'm like, move your head. We don't want to see you. I just want to see what you're talking about. So so it's just my voice and the screen. So and I've had good feedback for the people that have gone through it. And then from there, because some people are like, oh, I love that. And then, but I don't have time to do it. So I've evolved from creating the artwork. So these are, I guess, my different services that I can still do. Create the artwork, have the course, you do it all yourself. And now I've just Oracle card publishing. I'm just launching. So I do everything, the whole lot. And it doesn't have to be AI artwork. Like I just did my first client through that from, you know, the start to the end. But she had her own photos and her own wording, and I just put it all together. And we just sent it off to print yesterday. So she'll get her demo deck very soon. She's so excited. And I love that. I love how excited they are about this beautiful product. And, you know, it's just, it's different from when I'm doing promotional and marketing things for people where it's like they pay money and, you know, I can't guarantee I'm going to get you anybody into your event or your services and things like, do you know what I mean? And but this is like
more tangible.
Yeah, it's a beautiful product. They're like, oh, you helped me create this. It's so amazing. Yeah, so, and when I see my artwork flying through my newsfeed, you know, I'm like, oh, I love it. Yeah, I love it.
I can understand. It's interesting, like how, you know, it's not something you'd ever imagine doing, but because you're able to tap into this and things just came together for you, it's emerged as a thing. Yes. And I mean, that in itself tells me that by allowing the elevation of, you know, what is coming into place spiritually on a technical level, or a technological level, I should say, you know, it's opening things up for you that wouldn't have presented themselves previously. And a lot of people worry that they're going to lose their jobs or what have you, but they don't realize that by embracing technology, you don't know what you could do yet. You know, you might be actually stuck in a job that it isn't great, and you could, you know, by embracing things like this, it can actually achieve more for you than if you hadn't. So I don't know how else to speak to that other than
I get exactly what you're saying. Yeah, so true. Just be open, and you're right. And that also tells me that that AI is not evil or all the things, because I truly believe that I'm protected and guided. Like I know that, you know, that's my path, that if this wasn't the right thing, then doors wouldn't have opened so easily and things wouldn't have flowed and evolved so, you know, so flawlessly. That's well, we know when we're in flow, then we're on the right track, aren't we? You know, when absolutely. With the roadblocks and things, and it's just not
working or whatever, and you're like, okay, we'll just head in this direction instead or whatever, if it's not working.
And you know, if you get stopped so many times, like, and you go, oh, you know, that come up, but I still didn't look at it, and I still pushed through and did the thing, and then it didn't work out. I should have listened to those signs, but I haven't got anything at all. This is another thing I want to share. So I have my first client, which was you know, she's a Facebook friend that I haven't really spoken to ever, I don't think, but I just put a post up about the tarot. I put a post up with my images of the tarot cards. I don't think I did the major arcanas. And she's like, oh, this is really good. I think I need to talk to you. And from there, she's like, I've had these decks. I was with a publisher. It didn't really work out. That never went anywhere. I've been waiting for like 3 years and I'm ready. And she had it all there, that I literally did them over the weekend for her. Bang. Wow. We just pumped them out. And then I got a message. This is like, you know how you have that other inbox that if you're not friends with?
Yeah.
And it's like, hello, I just come across your page and I see that you're doing oracle cards. I really want some oracle cards. And I'm like, oh. And so then I'm like, how did you find me? And she said, I was just searching for another Sarah on Facebook and you popped up and I saw on your page, because I've got my banner that says, you know, about the course. And then in my little bio on my personal page says that, you know, I do the cards and everything. So then, and then I spoke to her yesterday. She's like, yes, sign me up. And she paid a deposit over the phone and, you know.
Wow.
And it's
my God. It's just boom.
Yeah. It's like, okay. That. Yeah, this is obviously what I'm meant to be doing. Yeah.
Are you doing, I know you're doing the concrete cards. Are you doing any in app form? Have you thought about that? Like, you know, becoming, you know how some companies, like, you know, when just Ocean Media was doing this Ocean Media, publishing or something like that. They were doing all
Yep.
of Doreen Virtue's ones and all of Hay House's ones, and then they weren't. I don't know what happened to them,
Oh,
but yeah, I don't know if they're still doing them or not. But
is that
they
Ocean Reef? Ocean Reef?
Ocean Media or something like that. But yeah, I was just wondering if you thought about like getting,
Yeah.
taking it that step further because you know
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's so handy, like for
yeah.
someone like myself, like if I'm traveling, which I will be indefinitely traveling, like doing the roving retirement thing from November, so to have my little app on my phone and stuff is really cool. Can't carry on my cards and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. So anybody out there that's an active developer, let me know. But yeah, that is definitely future. But what I'm doing, it's interesting you said that, because what I'm actually doing, because I've got so much artwork and I use AI too to create the the card names and all the stuff. And you just you get this information and then you're like, oh, that word matches that word, and you like use your intuition and you mix things around, and it's you can create a deck really quickly,
Yeah.
and I mean, some people might not want to do but that, which is fair enough. But I think, connecting into your intuition and teaching AI what you want, is it any different than getting the downloads? The AI
Yeah.
you download, it's telling you, and you're like,
Oh.
you can take it or leave it. But some people are totally okay with that, and so that's another aspect I've got as well, that it's instead of the ghost writers,
Mm-hmm.
I can be a ghost deck creator.
Love it.
Yep, and white labeled. So I'm creating decks. If people want them, white label it to them so it's theirs. I've
Yeah.
got Gareth, who's an amazing lawyer, and he's supporting me with all of this. So everything's all. And again, that's another thing. I'm like, I know why we met. It's like I just feel, because I've got legally that help now. It just kind of takes us to the next level again. And we met.
Yeah.
We met through a co-author book. So it's like you
Yeah.
look at all the people and the things. But yeah, so what I'm doing is creating online decks,
Mm-hmm.
because so like you probably see them on like Etsy, where you can
Mm-hmm.
go and actually purchase a deck for like $13 or something, and
Mm-hmm.
then you can print that at home if you like. So it's set up that you can print it at home, so you've got the A4 size,
Mm-hmm.
and they can pop it through, and then they can laminate it and have their own cards if they want, or they can send it to a printer and get them printed.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. So that's an option too. So I'm just wanting to create an empire around Oracle and tarot cards.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Well, I mean, this that like I created my own Oracle deck based on the Everyday Lightworker Bible, which had the 12 principles of the Everyday Lightworker with the cross sectioned with the 8 chakras. So that was a 96, like 12 8 to 96. So it's a big deck. But
Yeah.
it was great to have as a companion to my book.
Mm-hmm.
And there's probably a lot of spiritual teachers out there that have um a way that they want to teach or what have you, and they might find that they want to use their deck for their students, or that it could be
Yeah.
that they want to use their deck for themselves with their
Mm-hmm.
clients. But it could be bigger than that, Sarah. It could be that
Mm-hmm.
they start to encourage more of themselves in their courses. I always had to rely on before I wrote that book, because I did all my Lightworker practitioner training. I always had to rely
Yeah.
on people
Which
who'd
I've
done decks
done.
before me. Yeah, like
Yeah. Yeah.
and then since then they've all like changed and evolved, and some of them out of the industry too. So then you're sort of stuck with the energy of someone else's stuff in
Yes.
in a way. So it's kind of good to have ownership,
Yes.
which wasn't really possible back then. Well, it probably was, but I just wasn't educated enough. Like someone like yourself offering this
Mm-hmm.
gives people an opportunity to go, yeah, maybe I could tailor my teachings with oracle cards, or
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily tarot. It could be just
Yeah.
anything in the way they want to approach their teaching. That could be very
Exactly.
powerful.
Exactly. And that is also the vision that I had. It's like nobody wants to read books anymore. Well, no one has time to read books anymore. So I see like any industry, it doesn't even have to be like a spiritual oracle deck. but having words of wisdom or having bite-sized education and information on cards. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
yes.
and that's pretty
I
much
love
what
that
you
idea.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. It's just, I just feel that's just the way it's going, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I
I
know
agree.
myself, and like reading a book, but if you put in a lot of stuff to get the word count, you know, a lot of that doesn't really need to be in there, you know. We just want short, snap wisdom, and that's what cards, for me, I see cards as being that. Yeah,
it's true. I've often used books like that anyway. Oh, I'll open it to a page that I think I need to know. Like
exactly.
it's like
Me
that,
too.
isn't it? You know?
Exactly. Yep.
I
That's
mean,
right.
gosh, it's an interesting concept. You know what? They should come up with an app that could, no matter what book you've got, you could use it as an oracle deck, just to say, I really like this book, convert it into an oracle deck. I'm hoping I'm giving you an idea that you can take and run with,
you
Sarah.
could probably do that with AI. You could do that with AI. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'll just see. I reckon, you know, I'm with you. I think spirit talks in any way it can possibly get to us. So it can be through AI, it could be through animals, it could be through the actual decks, the books, the TV shows, the wind, the sun. It could be anything, and it's about us actually listening and feeling, not just listening, but feeling, what is this really saying to me? And so I don't think we should judge it like as right or wrong or good or bad. Everything's really just information. And everything's really just trying to support us. But it's just the way we receive it and the way we act on it that's where our responsibility comes into it. And I think people have if people have a fear of AI because they might have past wounding of being oppressed and they're projecting that onto any government or any thing that seems to have authority or power or intelligence, then that's, I believe, their issue to resolve, to own, and to not project that onto the government or AI or no, just acknowledge it's making you feel uncomfortable, that being under any kind of authority is making you feel uncomfortable.
It's funny you say that, because that is me. I've worked out that I have this issue with authority. It's actually, I did a life purpose session with somebody, and it I do, and with all the big C word, I was, but I let go of all of that because it wasn't serving me on both. What I saw was on both sides, there was a lot of fear, manipulation, all the things. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to trust my own intuition. If I wanted to, get the J, I did. If I didn't, I didn't. And I'm just not going to listen to anything. And I'm just going to live in my own little bubble and trust whatever comes to me, whatever I need to know, which again, what we were saying, opening the book or pulling the card or seeing it on Facebook or you saying something to me, they're going, oh, wow, I needed to know that. Then I'm just going to trust that everything that I need to know is going to come to me. And that's it. I'm just going to live my life. And since I let go of that, I'm doing the AI stuff, and, it's
amazing. It's
and
really
a lot of people are against it. So it is really, and I have no fear over that anymore. I don't. It's just like a massive, like the fear of what people think. Like that was a really big thing for me for a lot of years, but just feels like there's just been a really big shift in this, I'm going to say, with the AI stuff, because it's like, I think because I really believe in it and I can see how amazing it is for people if they really dive in. What you were saying, you don't have to lose your job, learn a different way. You can still do your job, but if you say, hey, I know how to, use AI to do this, then, you could save your job. So we've all got choices. So.
I agree. And I'm not saying that the screen actors should be striking because of the AI. I think maybe they should. I don't know enough about it. But what I do know is that those who embrace it because it's here will probably be better writers for it, not worse, because they will believe in themselves and their abilities to be creative using tools and resources. I'm not, as I said, I'm not educated enough to say, hey, they shouldn't be striking. Maybe there's, benefits and things like that they need to, achieve, and that for their worth, and to acknowledge them. But I do know that what I just said, those who don't embrace it are going to be left behind. There's no doubt about that.
Yes,
And
exactly.
so if they can own their value, but also own and work with new tools and new resources, and don't see those things as undervaluing them. Don't see those things as an extension of being undervalued, because then that's oppression again. That imprint, that imprint doesn't go away with receiving benefits and better pay and all those kind of things. It doesn't go away. So if they can resolve that, they will get those things, and they will be paid more, and they will be better riders for it.
Exactly. Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I'm big on, like, seriously, I wrote a book on channeling, so I'm big on channeling. So
yes,
I've never channeled to a AI. I've never done that. But imagine if I did do that, then what would I be doing? Would I be then feeding elements of that high vibrational frequency into the AI and being part of the solution, rather than fearing what it could be taking from me?
Exactly. And you just said before, with that young 20-year-old and all the the AI didn't want to go down the negative road. So if you're putting all your beautiful channeling, your high vibration, all of that, then that is what it's going to churn out to people that probably need to read it and hear it. So
and it can get better at helping people, because you've given it something more. You've given more information for it to go, oh, this is how we can approach this, and be part of it. Maybe we're the 1%, but
isn't this a really good way to look at it? Like, what we're saying, we don't know if what we're saying is real, truth, whatever, but it's a bloody good mindset and a way of looking at it, rather than the opposite.
Definitely.
And so
we're feeding it rather than fearing it. Like, we're feeding it good stuff rather than fearing it's going to do bad stuff. And we're sort of becoming part of what I believe is we can catapult AI into being a force for good.
Yes, I totally agree too. And we will. And that's what you and I will see.
Yes,
Michelle, that's what we will see in our life. Like, everything else around us can be what, other people will be seeing the destruction or whatever, because that's their mindset and that's what they perceive. And once you realize that life is just a reflection of what you feel inside, then, you just look at things differently. So,
what else have you been up to since we last spoken that's changed and shifted for you?
I think I've explained everything. What else?
Did you get into a bit of NFTs? Some people got into those things, and
crypto and things like that. Did you
what was your journey with all of that?
Because I went into some crypto with, I don't know if you've seen, like, people doing multi-level marketing, those stuff.
Yes.
I've personally found that everyone that I went into is no longer. So
right,
it's hard, because crypto at the moment is really low. Like, it's low and it's going low. So the money's not. So when you enter into that space, and I've got some amazing friends that are in that space, but my own personal feeling about that is that it's, again, the bringing people in. That's where the money's coming, not necessarily from the crypto. Get what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
and then
I think it's a good time. Like, me personally, I was just talking about this. I think it's a really good time to just put a little bit in each week, because the governments and the bank systems and the bigger businesses, they will get into it while it's low, right? And then once they're into it, it will go up. So put a little bit in now, and good investment. But
I got into the MLM stuff with Herbalife back in 1998. I was pregnant and I was really, 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 really super sick. And then I started taking this because someone said, oh, you got to try this stuff. It'll be really helpful. And it actually was. So I was so excited by that I just started talking about it, and people wanted to buy it. But
Yeah.
then what happened for me was it was really, really, really super popular at the time, like when I was doing it, and I was really good at it. But what I found is everybody I spoke to about it, that's all I was talking about. It kind of felt like almost like a workaholic because I couldn't, because it's like, who do you know? That's what it was. Who do you know?
Yeah.
Talk to them, and it almost felt like you never. So that's why I stopped it, because I didn't want to feel uncomfortable around my friends. I didn't want to feel like every friend I talked to, I had to talk to them about this. It's kind of almost like an energy of from
Yeah.
healthy to like
Yeah.
not healthy. And it's kind of funny how those MLM things can work. And that's
Yeah.
why people sometimes go, oh God, they're talking about Tupperware, or or what was the other thing?
Exactly.
What was the other one that's really popular, was really popular at the time? I can't remember it.
Isogenics, which is like
Something like that.
Herbalife. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh,
But
the
yeah,
makeup, Mary Kay or
yeah, Mary Kay and
Nutrimetic.
Nutrigenetics. Yeah, yeah.
Nutrimetic.
And and the products are probably fantastic, but
Yeah.
the impulse behind it can become an
Yeah.
entity in itself,
Yeah.
is what I'm going to
They
say.
have to put the prices up though, because they've got to pay the commissions out as well. So, but
Good
I mean,
point.
it is a good business model, I guess, if you want to, get people. But with the crypto, it was more affiliate, like you maybe join someone, you get like a little bit of extra, but you didn't
Yeah.
have to do that either. You could just sit there and see your money coming in, growing each week. But then eventually it's like I've got about $15,000 sitting in one of them,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
can't get my money out. It's
Oh,
like, but
really?
it's all like, oh, the promise that it's going to happen, but I don't think so. But anyway,
Yeah.
you win some, you lose some, and
I think it's a journey of learning of what's
yeah,
right for you, as you said, and keep an open mind,
yeah,
and some things flow and grow and light us up, and some things are a great opportunity at the time for whatever healing we might need to have, and then it's not meant to be for the long term. So
yeah,
that's okay too.
yeah,
I don't think there are any mistakes. It's just,
yeah.
I haven't ended up being a Herbalife distributor for the rest of my life. Like, that was just an
Exactly.
interesting time of my life.
Yeah, exactly. You might have learned a little bit about sales that you might have needed in
Yeah,
another
exactly.
role that you were doing, So yeah,
I learned a
everything.
lot about health at the time. Actually,
Yeah,
that was fabulous. I learned so
yeah,
much about health, and that's
exactly.
definitely helped me today as well. So,
Yeah,
and my
exactly.
boundaries. I learned about my boundaries. I learned I didn't want to be, when I stopped kind of working, I just wanted to have my friendships and not be
Yeah,
working, feel like I'm working with my friendships. And,
yeah,
that was good for me, to have those, that have that integrity, to be able to
yeah,
step back and go, no, that's not how I want to be.
yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah.
that
Well,
was,
now you
that's
don't
the,
have to sign up your family and friends because
I
I've got
know. Oh,
Facebook now and we can do attraction marketing.
ah.
you
Oh,
know, you know what I
well,
mean?
exactly.
Just put
It's like,
posts up and that's how
ex
you do, that's the best way to get business. That's why I'm always doing that and it does work, It's like
oh,
share your
definitely.
excitement, share
Yeah.
your results, share. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and that's so natural and so beautiful and effortless, isn't it? And then you
Yes.
get people who are looking for a different Sarah, but they found you
Yeah.
because
it's like that's what happens. Yeah. Of
yeah,
course
and
it
that's
did.
it did, yeah,
Mm.
and I'm excited for you because it feels like you're really coming from a place of innovation, creativity, connectiveness, and celebration,
Yeah.
of other people's uniqueness. And I
Yeah.
love that you've got those elements that you're putting together with what you're doing, because that makes it about, yeah, your skills, also accepting help, but also then being able to allow that their energy to take center stage as well. So you've got a really good combination happening there.
Yeah. Just
Amazing.
naturally. I can't even see it the way that you've seen it, It's just I just do it naturally. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just bubbling out of you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So let everybody know where they can connect with you amazingly with all the things you're doing, and yeah, and we'll make sure we pop that in the social media post as well.
Okay, great. So probably I think my personal Facebook is probably the best because then it's got everything. So it'd be just Sarah Jayde. But if you want to go over to Spiritual Events and have a look at all the amazing different psychics, I was going to say psychos. Oh my God. Psychics, healers. You can go over to Spiritual Events directory and check all that out. And then Oracle card. Oracle. It's so new. I just literally made it. Oracle card publishing.
Yeah.
You can check that out on Facebook as well.
Fabulous. Oh, it's exciting times. I can't wait to see how it all evolves. And if anybody's out there who wants to develop apps with Sarah, please, I think we'll all be buying them. It's so good. That'd be so awesome. I can't wait to see how it grows. I love it. I love your vision.
Thank you. And thanks for having me.
No, you're very welcome. And everybody, embrace AI, feed it the good stuff. Know that it's going to be working for us, not against us, because the more positive stuff we can pump into it, the more it's going to remain intelligent and evolve in the highest possible intelligence it possibly can to support us and our planet. So thanks again, Sarah.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everybody.